everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I've got another batch of cool, fun riffs from Led Zeppelin. Right now there's a link in the description you can click on where you can download this really useful, pretty cool chord chart from Guitar Control for free. It's in PDF format, you can print it out, it has every chord that you could ever need for whatever it is that you're trying to play, all on one convenient sheet. So you can just print it out, put it wherever you practice, and it's a really good tool. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. Alright, so the first one we're looking at is Moby Dick, and for this one we're going to be in drop D tuning. So basically I've just got the low E string tuned down to a D and everything else is the same. So D, A, D, G, B, E. So this is like kind of a bass line type kind of riff. Alright, so starting off, the first thing we want to do is we're going to put our first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string. And we're going to play the open low E string for the downbeat of 1. 1, and then we're going to go to the A string. We're already getting that 5th fret for the and of 2. And then for the downbeat of, that's the and of 1. So it's like 1 and then for beat 2, it's 16th notes. So we're going to go 5, 3, and then down to the low E, 5, 3. Now when we hit that 3 there, that's the last 16th note of beat 2, and then it's tied to the downbeat of beat 3, so it just rings out for well, twice as long as the previous notes had. So we let that ring out, then we go back to 5, and that's a 16th note, and then back to 3 is an 8th note, so it kind of puts this, ba-da. And then we go to back to the 5th fret, and this is the downbeat of beat 4. So that's the first measure, and then that riff repeats quite a bit. Alright, then on the second measure, we start off with our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the low E, and that's on the downbeat of 1. Then the end of 1, we're going to skip over the A string and come up to the 5th fret of the D string. Down to the 3rd fret. So then we're going to shift our whole hand position down again, and now we're on the A string. 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. So it's like the same timing as we were doing with the first measure there. So, and then that's repeated twice, and then it goes back to the first riff again for 2 more times. So it's sort of set up like, kind of like how like a 12-bar 1, 4, 5 would be set up. Similar as far, we got 4 bars of the 1 chord, 2 bars of the 4 chord, 2 bars of the 1 chord. Then we're going to go up to a 5 chord, and back down to the 4 chord, and then the whole thing would repeat. So the first 2 measures. Third measure. Now starting on the 4th measure, we're going to come up to the 7th fret on the low E, on the downbeat of 1, and then on the and of 1, we're going to come to the 7th fret on the D string. So 1 and. So beat 2 is 16th notes again. So we have 7, 5, and then 7 on the A, back to the 7 on the D. So. Then on the downbeat of 3, we rest, and so it's like the first 16th note of beat 3 we rest, and then the second 16th note is 7 on the D string again, rest again, 7 on the A string, and then back to the D string, 5, 7, open. So. Then to the 5th fret again on the D string. Okay, now for that last measure, we're going to shift our hand position down again. So now our 3rd finger is going to be playing the 5th fret of the D string. And the first beat is just 16th notes. 1 E and then on beat 2, we have 2 E and, so we're going to go from that 1 E and 2 E and, then we're going to go to the 3rd fret of the G string with our 3rd finger, and it's a bend, full step, back to 5, to the 2nd fret of the G string, to the 5th fret of the D, and then finally the 3rd fret of the D. And then it would just repeat. Alright, so the next one I'm going to look at is the riff from Good Times, Bad Times. So this one here, we're starting off, we've got a E5 power chord. So the low open low E string, 7th fret of the A string with my 1st finger, and then the 9th fret of the D and G string with my 3rd finger. Or you could use your 3rd on the D string and your 4th finger on the G string, whatever's more comfortable for you. And we're going to hit that on the downbeat of 1 is 2 8th notes. So it's like 1 2 3 4, 1 and 2 3 4. And then the next measure, do the same thing, but we slide out of it this time. So that's like the first part of it. Okay, we slide out of that. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to do that same shape we were doing for E5, but we're going to do it at the 1st fingers on the 5th fret and 3rd fingers on the 7th. So this is D5. And now we're going to arpeggiate this. So we're going to play A, D, G, D, G, D, A. Then we have to reach over to the 4th fret of the D string with your 1st finger. 4, 7, and then on the A string, 4, 4, 5, 6, and then it would just start over again. Alright, and then the last one we're going to look at is How Many More Times. So this one's got actually kind of a similar groove to Moby Dick. So we're going to start off with the open low E, and this is a quarter note. So this is 1, and then for beat 2, we have a dotted 8th note tied to a 16th note. So this is kind of weird. You got, so these two are quick. So it's like 1, 2E, 3, 4. So then we go to the 7th fret of the A string with your 3rd finger and back to the 5th fret of the A string with your 1st finger. So then the second measure, open E string, go to the A string 7, 5, 7, 5. It does that riff for a very, very long time. They're singing over that. So it just kind of, the notes are all easy. It's just the timing on it that's kind of weird. Okay, and then after it does that a whole bunch of times, then we just go to a D major chord. So my 1st finger is picking up the 5th fret of the A string, and my 3rd finger is picking up the 7th fret of the D, G, and B string. So it's a 16th note tied to a dotted 8th note, and then so that's beat 1, and then for beat 2 it's just that is a quarter note, so it's like 3 strums, da da da, and then we have A. So we're just going to move we stay on these same frets. We're just going to move our first finger, so now we're barring across all the strings on the 6th fret, or excuse me, on the 5th fret. And second finger is on the 6th fret of the G string, third finger is on the 7th fret of the A string, and fourth finger is on the 7th fret of the D string. Same strum. So it's like. Alright, so there you have it. 3 more not too terribly tough to play Led Zeppelin riffs. Good times, bad times might be, that part where you're a little bit challenging if you're a beginner. But other than that, most of it's pretty simple, pretty easy to play. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.